I'm Christine, the Beauty Pro coach, host of the BeautyPro podcast. And today we're going to be talking about some bold things. We are challenging the common belief that being fully booked equals financial success. We're going to be teaching you how to identify your profit leaks, increase your revenue without working more hours, working smarter, not harder, and start thinking like the CEO of your business that you are. So let me ask you, are you booked out 6 weeks, but you're still stressing about paying your bills? Do you have a waiting list, but barely have any money left after paying your expenses? Are you constantly working, but never feeling like you're getting anywhere financially or otherwise? Here's the uncomfortable truth. You can be fully booked and still be building the wrong business. Just because your calendar is completely full, it doesn't mean that you're financially free. Okay. So I want you to stop chasing a packed schedule and start scaling a profitable business where you work smarter and not harder. Being busy is not the same as being profitable. One of my big, humongous pet peeves is when people are like, hey, how you doing? And you find yourself that you're constantly saying, oh, nothing, just working, just super busy. I'm just busy all the time. Like I'm just so busy and I'm so tired. Oh, I'm so tired from being so busy. Drives me crazy. Just because you're busy doesn't mean that you're living your life the way you want. Doesn't mean that you're profitable. And the worst part is that our beauty industry actually glorifies being and saying, I'm so busy all the time. Oh, no, that's not it. All right. We need to. And then the other thing is we celebrate. Oh my God, I'm booked solid. Oh my goodness, I don't have an opening for 6 weeks. I'm working 6 days a week. And I know I just recorded an episode about how you can be fully booked in the salon. And the thing is that it's balance. You want to know and be booked, but then it comes to a point where you're booked too much and you're not living your life. You need to be able to do and know both things and still know when it's becoming too much for you. And that threshold is going to be different for every single beauty or barber pro. A great example is my busy life. My booked and busy is so different than probably anyone and everyone else. From my one-to-one coaching schedule to working in the salon to recording episodes for the podcast to having my own continued education that is going to fill my heart and soul up to having a life to working out to spending time with my dog. Like I'm busy, but it's going to be very different than you're busy. So even though you ask yourself all those questions and all those things that I said before, I want you to really look into yourself and be like, okay, what's left after the booth rent? What's left from the product costs, the credit card fees, the taxes, education, marketing, insurance, supplies? Like you need to know what that number is after all of those things. What's happening is, especially with the suite stylists and the independent stylists, which there is absolutely a place for them in the industry. There's a place for everyone in the beauty industry, but the lines are getting blurred as to revenue, how much revenue you're getting versus your income. And those are two very different words that you absolutely cannot get confused and you cannot use them interchangeably. Candy Shaw actually said this in her episode of the BeautyPro podcast, is that, as beauty and barber pros who work independently or in a suite, we touch a lot of money, but that doesn't mean that you have all that money in the bank account. So just so that we are clear, your schedule of being booked and busy does not pay your bills. Your profit does. Your profit is what tells you that you have an income, that you are profitable. So I want you to ask yourself, if you stopped working for a month, could your business take care of you? How long could your business survive if you stopped working for a month? That answer to those to that question asked two different ways is going to tell you everything and more than what your calendar is going to tell you. So we all have a ceiling, and everything we do is a trade-off. And the biggest trade-off is trading time for money. There's only so many hours that we can work behind the chair. Okay. And depending on your pricing methodology and how you formulated your base price and hourly rates, like there's a ceiling to all of it. Why? Because we're human. We're not robots, and we're not going to allow robots to take our jobs as beauty and barber professionals, because we are human beings and we thrive on connection in so many different ways. And this is a whole other rabbit trail from what we're going to be talking about today, but it is so relevant. If your strategy is to work more hours, work more days, add more clients, stay until tomorrow, sleep at your salon. That has happened. If you want to work on Sundays and no days off and all that, if that is your strategy to breaking the ceiling, you're only building a higher ceiling, and you are on your way to burnout, overwhelm, and an absolute breakdown on a hospital bed. You cannot outwork a broken business system. You just can't. I've talked about this before, and it's even been a personal goal of mine, is, are you maximizing, the key word, every hour? Are you maximizing your gifts and talents, or are you simply filling up the time? Are you doing busy work? Your income shouldn't depend on sacrificing time with your children, your husband, your wife, building memories, your friends and family, like doing the things that you actually want to do. Hello, sleep. If you're sacrificing your sleep, you are cheating yourself of a life well lived. Not to mention, you're probably getting fat. You need sleep for everything. Here's the other thing too, is that your average ticket is probably too low. So you're probably charging not the right amount. It's not about needing more clients. You probably don't. You probably are slammed. But maybe you need more value during each 30 minutes, hour and a half, 2 hours. Like you need to be investing more time into your clients so that you can charge more. That way your time and your price can be going together instead of indirectly as a trade-off. Make sense? Hey guys, really quickly, I know this is a great episode, but I just have to share really fast. Something no one tells you is the better your business does, the more time it takes to run it. More appointments and more locations end up meaning more hours spent on scheduling, follow-up, and marketing instead of time with your clients and staff, let alone your friends and family. There's a better way where you can keep growing and get more time back. Gloss Genius is the intelligent system that handles more of the work for you: scheduling, payment, staff management, marketing, and client follow-up, all done automatically, working in the background to fill your calendar, grow your revenue, and keep clients coming back. 120,000 beauty and wellness businesses trust it to run their operations so they can focus on their vision. Are you ready to earn more and actually get your time back? Use code BeautyPro at glossgenius.com for 15% off your first 2 months of their premium plan. Let's get back to the show. So how can we increase our average ticket ethically and justify it so that we don't feel like a slimy salesman, right? Better consultations. We need to know what the people want so that we can deliver, right? And then when we deliver, we're going to under promise and over deliver. Give them more than what they're asking for. Surprise them. Are we going to recommend retail? Are we going to give them upgrades? Of course, we got to give them a taste first so that we can charge later, right? Give them what they want. Are we going to have bundles, packages, membership programs, maintenance plans? Like these are things that we can do. I just heard and saw a hairstylist who was able to provide a package system for her luxury client. This client was a high ticket, high paying client. And that client paid this hairdresser to do her hair for an entire year. That is working smarter not harder, that is attracting clients of that caliber, that is something that we need to be thinking about and having that available and working reverse engineering for all different kinds of budgets and clients. Here's another. So with that reverse engineering, let's do it again. So like instead of seeing 25 clients for $80, how can we see 18 clients for 130? You see what we're doing? That's more income, less brain power and physical labor. So it's not about more appointments and more clients. It's about more value, more money in the bank, and less stress. Perhaps you are undercharging because you're emotionally attached to your pricing. I know to some of you it might sound weird, but it is so not weird. We are emotional, creative beings, and it happens. That mindset of thinking that my clients can't afford it, I don't want to lose people, I live in a real country town, or someone down the street charges even less than I do, like, or I've always charged this. Like, instead of thinking that way, I want you to be asking yourself, like, hasn't everything for you and for your client gotten more expensive? Like gas, eggs, milk, rent, color, supplies, like everything has gone up. So why, first of all, why are you going to be less? Okay, that's not working smarter. That's working very, very, very dumb. Let's call it for what it is. We want to be smarter, not dumb. The truth is that we are not living like it was before COVID. We are very much living in a time after COVID, and things have radically changed. What we know life was before, it's not the same. And so we have to match with the times, and we have to fast forward and do that quickly so that we don't get left behind and drown in poverty, essentially. We have to be confident, not apologetic, right? There's a time and place for everything, but for the sake of today, we are focusing on confidence and becoming the best version of ourselves in the future. We want our future selves to thank us. So here's the other thing too, that a lot of beauty and barber professionals, we all know our schedule, we know our formulas, we know our clients' birthdays and their favorite coffee order, but what we don't know is how to read a profit and loss statement. We don't know our monthly, weekly profits. We don't know or have a savings goal. We don't know our tax obligations. We don't know retirement contributions. We don't have an emergency fund. Some of us are still doing our business with our personal accounts, and that just drives me nuts. And I talk about it in my in-person classes too. Like, we do not do that. We are two separate entities. Let's not go down that rabbit hole. Sure, you can say that you're bad with money, but the reality is you don't have a plan. There's no assignment, right? Like, we have our schedule for the day and our formulas. We need to have that same kind of thing, but for our money and for our mindset and for everything going on with that. We need the plan. If you're a boss babe and you're a suite owner or an independent stylist, like, do you tell your money where to go, or do you wonder where it went? That's not running a business. That's not a financial strategy. That is fantasy. So you really do need to stop thinking like a hairstylist and start thinking like a CEO, like a business owner, like an entrepreneur, because that is what we are. Essentially, even if you're working for somebody else, the question is not, how do I get busier? How do I get slammed? How do I get booked like crazy? No, it's about, how do I become profitable? How do I scale? How do I create systems? How do I improve client retention, improve my reputation? How do I make money without having to do anything? That's the real question. So this week, all right, you got some homework. This week, I want you to calculate your average ticket. How much does your average client spend? It's a little different than knowing your average service price or anything like that. Like, I want you to think about how much does your average client spend with you? And then I want you to calculate your actual hourly profit, not what clients pay, what you actually get to keep after everything is said and done. Then I want you to ask, am I building my schedule around what's profitable or what's familiar? Like, are you staying in your comfort zone and just doing what you've always done? Or are you taking a risk and trying to do something different to get a different result? If this episode of the Beauty Pro podcast totally triggered you, I'm not sorry. Okay. Self-awareness is the first step to change. It's getting you out of that comfort zone. It is making a difference in your life. And I am proud to be a part of it. I help beauty and barber professionals every day stop doing the things that they've always done. I help you get out of that funk, out of that mindset of always doing the same thing. Like, I truly help you become the best version of you so that your future self can thank you today. And so if this episode helped you at all, I want you to type in profit. I'll know that you listened to this exact episode. I'll send you a link so that you and I can have a direct one-to-one chat on how we can move to that next phase, get to the next level of your business. And it's completely risk-free, right? A free discovery call with me is free. So check it out. Leave your ratings and reviews of the Beauty Pro podcast in the comments. Send me a message on Instagram and let's get to it. I'll talk to you soon.